Hey everybody, Who's Your Jedi here with another review for you. This time I'm talking episode 5 of Supergirl called Livewire. Now I gotta say, this is one episode of the series that I've been looking forward to the most. Livewire is probably one of my favorite villains from the animated Superman show from back in the day, where she was played with really wonderfully by Lori Petty. So the idea of live action Livewire, pretty exciting in my book. And what we got, well, for TV, it was okay. I mean, they definitely did play up her ability to, jump around through electrical devices to mess around with screens. The sort of shock jock aspect of her character, her hatred of Superman in the animated series was transferred quite nicely over here onto Supergirl, and that all works. I guess it's just that Livewire had such a great design. I was kind of hoping for something that would be a little bit more reminiscent with that. Here it's just sort of like some lady who kind of stole a few, basically some lady who stole a few bits of her look from Lady Gaga. And that's not even necessarily bad. What was that? Beware the Batman TV show that they had a while back? That's what they did with Magpie. And it worked pretty well. Here, yeah. I mean, character-wise, yeah, I'm pretty happy. No complaints about the actress. The origin handled well. The fight, well. Her relationship with Cat Grant handled well. All of that is well. It's just, man, I was hoping for somebody who looked a little bit more like the comics character. But TV budgets, right? This episode also finally does some stuff to really sort of make us see Cat Grant in a much more favorable light. She briefly kind of tosses off an offhand mention of being on antidepressants, anti-anxiety meds. She actually shows some genuine compassion towards Kara, especially in regards to, oh, your parents are dead. And she even shows regret, was like, you know what, I should have guided Leslie in a better direction. Instead I just sort of did what made me money, what got me ratings. And I did love that scene where Leslie is like, hey, what are you getting on my case for talking crap about Supergirl? You've done the exact same thing. And Kat just sort of pulls the, hey, I'm the boss card. But Leslie had a totally valid point. Kat was being a total hypocrite there. And yeah, I mean that was well done. And of course, somebody with an S on their shield saving people from a crashing helicopter. Have we seen that before in live action? I think we have. So yeah, that was really good stuff. Here, Cat Grant does seem to be coming around a little bit as a character, and I've complained about her pretty heartily since the show started. But, and let's keep in mind, this is a Greg Berlanti show, and Greg Berlanti is, of course, one of the main people behind Arrow. And they've done a great thing on Arrow and The Flash of taking characters from a starting point and then moving them to where they're more like their characters in the comics. They usually start off pretty far from there. It basically took until the end of season 3 to go from Oliver to really becoming like the character of Green Arrow from the comics. When we first saw Oliver Queen on Arrow, he was just this dude who really dug killing people. And, it took him 3 years to really earn the right to call himself Green Arrow, but it was a great journey. Here, now Cat Grant in the comics, well, her characterization is bounced back and forth. But I really remember her as being somebody who was a genuinely competent journalist and somebody who was really worthy of being called at least Clark Kent's friend and was nominally sort of an ally. She was one of the good people at the Daily Planet. And, Callista Flockhart's Cat Grant, quite a long way from that. But, showing some compassion, showing some regret, kind of giving us that story about how her opening up about her past and, having that mom who was never satisfied with anything. Again, that's a bit cliche, but it's realistic. And it does give us some genuine insight into why she is the way she is. Now, I do guess it has to be said for a moment. This episode did air out of order. This is the fifth episode of the series, and it was actually due for the fourth episode to air. But that particular episode revolved around a series of bombings, and of course, just a few days ago was the horrible terrorist attack in Paris. So showing that would have been quite insensitive. So shuffling things around just see created a little bit of weirdness with the whole Jimmy Lucy thing, which you know, real life, folks. So yeah, things will be but this is just a little bump in the road. I also did like that little conversation that Kara had with Jimmy on the phone. Um, the other big aspect of this episode was kind of getting some more of the backstory, getting to see a little bit more of the Danvers parents, and just kind of seeing Helen Slater come in to sort of flesh out Kara's adoptive mom and Kara and Alex's mom. And this was really well done. This really felt like one of those ugly family holiday arguments. And I do like how it was shown that Elsa clearly was Elisa, I should, however the hell you say that, that the mom was clearly in the wrong. She was putting way too much pressure on Alex and basically charging her as her sister's keeper, basically holding her responsible for what were really Kara's decisions. Now, then, of course, we learn there's more to it than that. Kara being, making a stupid decision almost got her grabbed by the DEO shortly after she arrived on Earth. And this led to her dad having to sort of strike that devil's bargain with Hank Henshaw, which apparently might have gotten him killed. Now, raise your hand if you actually think their dad is dead. I mean, there's just too damn much drama in him actually not coming back, and you don't grab somebody like Dean Cain for such penny ante stuff. Not with somebody with such a strong legacy in the Superman among Superman fans. So yeah, he's totally going to turn up alive again at some point. I can pretty much guarantee you. Now, the question though here is, okay, past Hank Henshaw. Is that who we're looking at now? Is this before whatever happened with him getting the whole red eyes situation? We don't know. If this is before and then something happened, maybe he was changed in some way, maybe he was replaced. Interesting. Although what really gets me here is that the DEO are like, yeah, we're just going to grab this girl and cart her off to a laboratory and poke and prod her or whatever. And nobody points out, it's like, you do realize that if Superman is going to find out about this, right? And then the most powerful being in the galaxy is going to be hellishly mad at you. Again, this is frickin' Superman. He can probably find the DEO. I mean, there's no way in the world he would not eventually figure it out. Never mind his superpowers, he's also an incredibly talented investigative journalist who is really good at ferreting out information people don't want him to have. But they're like, yeah, let's piss off the most powerful being on the planet. I mean, really, this is ridiculous. That there's not some way that they're going to address that. I mean, how are they going to say, like, oh yeah, you better not tell Superman about this? Well, what the hell are you going to do? I mean, I guess they could threaten Alex or whatever, but it's like, yeah, if anything happens to us, again, Superman is going to be all over your asses. So, I mean, no, that's just dumb. Of course, it also sort of brings up the question of why the heck didn't Clark just put Kara with the Kents? But c'est la vie. C'est la vie. And I gotta say though, that stuff where the family makes up at the end, and where Wynn kind of was caught in the crossfire of this horribly awkward situation. He kind of comes out there and continues what I think is like, hey, I'm interested in you. And he's not creepy about it. He's not, I mean, he's really just doing it right. You know, Kara understands if she wants to go through that door, it's there. And given what's going on with Lucy and Jimmy, well, looks like Jimmy might not be doing so well. And we also get a nice moment where Wynn kind of fleshes out a little bit of his backstory, talking about his father being in prison and all of that. I mean, it's good stuff. And that totally is never going to have any ramifications down the road whatsoever. So yeah, all in all, just a really solid episode, and I can't really complain any at all whenever any TV show manages to work in a reference to Ghostbusters, because I freaking love Ghostbusters so damn much. I mean, I literally have an autographed picture of the cast of Ghostbusters hanging up on the wall in my office in the other room where I usually record. I bought it off Ernie Hudson last year when he was at a convention in Chicago. Autographed by everybody, even the late and dearly missed Harold Ramis. So yeah, now that I've gone completely off topic, I think this is a good place to call it. So guys, as always, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and of course you can follow me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi. Until next time, take care and have a good one.